Okay. Alright. So, to introduce tonight's special presentation, I'm going to make Elias come up here and introduce him. So, Elias, come on down!
Alright, so I get the pleasure and honor to introduce a guy that has energy unlike anything I've seen before, because I thought I was crazy, but when I met Kenny Campos, it was awesome. From what I remember, Kenny, I believe I mentioned Interactive Fridays the very first time.
I think that's right.
And the guy who's here tonight, Cesar Plata, introduced, told you to come and see me. I was like, we were Interactive Fridays, it was about almost a year ago or so.
Yeah.
You come in, buff guy, right? Like, oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, I was told to come see you by Cesar Plata. I'm like, really? I'm like, wow, that's fantastic.
He's a connector.
So immediately, I really enjoyed Kenny's personality, and I said, you know what? When we do something for networking events, we want to get you involved, help you move your business forward.
He has to move all the way to the back.
I'm getting there. Okay, Eric wants me to stop what I'm saying and say, Kenny, we're going to uphold the tradition that we do the weekly events here at the Mastermind, so we're going to have to ask you and Sepideh to go all the way to the back, so that way he can make that grand entrance. Yeah, I have my coach back there, Eric Richardson. And so, Kenny started coming to our weekly events, and he actually spoke at one of our weekly events in San Jose about 4 or 5 months ago. Dynamic presentation. It's also, I have the video on Facebook, I'll post it again later. And he's just such an awesome guy. And then I got to meet his lady friend that he's been with for 4 years. And now what's even more glorious, I get to know them better, we're seeing them grow together in front of us. And I love it when two couples, are working together. It's awesome. And one final thing before they come out here, Kenny and Sepideh invited us over to their place, and Eric and I had lunch with them. We got to know each other better. We never had a formal one-on-one, but we finally did, and it was really awesome. And that's where we asked him to come speak here tonight. So on that note, please welcome the owners of Fit to Last Academy, right? Did I get that right? Mr. Kenny Campos and Sepideh
Esmaili.
Esmaili, I got that right, yeah!
Good evening, everyone. It's an absolute honor and privilege to be here and for this discussion with you folks. Again, my name is Kenny Campos.
I'm Sepideh Esmaili.
And so if you're excited to be here amongst a nice supportive group of folks that are interested in moving each other's business forward, let me hear you say yes.
Yes!
Thank you. If you guys are excited to learn how to take your health and fitness to the next level, let me hear you say yes.
Yes!
Beautiful. Okay, well, we need to work on that a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I know some of you are eating, but I want us to get really present. Okay, I want us to I know you all have lives, and we do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be here, but really we want to focus in so that we can get the most out of this presentation today. So what I'm going to kindly do is ask everyone to go ahead and stand up from your seats. Stand, you know that's coming? Yeah. But it is a little chilly in here as well, so we need to get that going. Okay, so all we're going to do is get a couple gentle stretches, to help go ahead and alleviate any stress or tension we might be feeling out of the day. So the first exercise we're going to do is go ahead and be neck rotations. So what you're going to do, you're going to push your chin into your chest, and you're just going to rotate it around, and you're going to be breathing, okay? And just go ahead and let it all out. Deep breaths in, nice and easy. You can start nice and slow. You can go a little quicker as you loosen up. Okay, we're going to switch sides as well. Okay, so we did one side. I want you to go ahead and alternate the opposite direction. About 5 that way. So remember, nice deep breaths. I don't hear enough breathing going on, folks. The only thing that's going to relax those muscles is breath. Okay, breath is your life force, right? Nice deep breaths. Beautifully done. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do here are shoulder shrugs. Okay, to alleviate tension from our upper back and shoulders. Here's how we're going to stand with your feet about hip width apart. Slight bend in your knees. Keep your stomach nice and firm, so belly button in towards the back. What you're going to do, you're going to shoot your shoulders up and then roll them back. Okay, so eyes are coming up and then back. There we go. Come on. And right there. And back. Pitching those shoulder blades when you roll those shoulders back. Good. Up and back. 2 more. Good. 1 more. Beautifully done. The next one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and who here is sitting at a desk a big portion of your day? Anyone? Okay, Silicon Valley, shocking. All right. So what we're gonna do? All right. So knees, feet about hip width apart. Again, stand with your feet hip width apart. Slight bend in the knees. Stomach's firm. What you're gonna do is gonna be a torso twist. A nice rotation in your torso is gonna help relieve any tension you might have built up in your hips. What you're gonna focus on is keep your hips forward, but you're gonna point your torso and chest one direction. Okay, and we're gonna hold for hold of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and no one's breathing. 1. Opposite side. Opposite side. Remember. Nice deep breaths. Keep those hips face forward and rotate, pointing the chest one direction. Okay, nice deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Beautifully done. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Good job, guys. Who here feels better? Who feels more alert and less stressed? Nobody? Just me? Okay, that's good. Elias does. That's good.
I feel good all the time.
Awesome.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Okay, so what we're going to discuss with you tonight are 3 keys to help you be successful in your health and fitness journey. Because like we all know, in order to, really be present with your clients, in order to have the confidence to go out and meet new people and to network, we really need to take care of our bodies first and foremost before we can do anything else. So the 3 things that we're going to discuss tonight, first of all, Kenny will share with you the mindset that it takes for you to really decide to take control of your health and fitness. Secondly, I'll discuss with you what that fitness journey might look like. We don't want you to just walk into a dark room. We want to set you up for success and let you know what you might face when you really decide to take control of your health and your life. And third, we're going to talk a little bit about our Fit to Last coaching method, how we discovered it, and what we like to teach our clients and hopefully you. So without further ado, Kenny Campos is going to start us off.
So mindset, right out of the gate, folks. If we don't get this down, nothing else I say from this point forward is going to make a difference for you. Really, lasting fitness, health, and vitality doesn't start in the gym. It starts right here. It starts in your mind. Quick background. Then it's really what it comes down to in terms of the mindset is making the decision. You have to decide that you want the best for yourself. You have to decide that you're worth it to put in the energy, and it does take some effort to transform your life through health and fitness. And a big piece of that decision is about finding emotion. We don't act based on rationality. We act based on that emotion, and then we go ahead and justify those actions through with logic. And a big piece of finding the emotion is it starts with your thinking. The thoughts that you think eventually lead to the outcomes of your life. And for me, the decision that I was worth it and that I was going to change my life began when I was only 10 years old. I remember, I came from a family where at 10 years of age I was 180 pounds. I was depressed. I was not in a good place emotionally, mentally. I was out on the playground one day, and I just remember I always had a personality where I loved being around people and I loved connecting with other individuals. However, I wanted to go play basketball. Something as simple as going out and playing some hoops. And I see all the kids having fun and living life, and I'm sitting there on the sideline. I can't make it up and down the court once without feeling winded. It was at that time that I made the decision that I was worth it. I had things in my life that I knew I wanted to accomplish. I didn't know what they were yet, but I knew that at that point in time, I was going to dedicate my life to this. To me being my best. To me being my best, not just for me, but for my friends, my family, my loved ones. And, I would just encourage you. I mean, who here has ever made a fitness goal? Has ever had a fitness goal, gone on a diet? Perfect. Right? I believe we all have. And the question is really, what is the motivation behind that? And that's a question that you have to answer. You have to make that decision for yourself. What will my life be like when I make this change? How will things for me be better when I take this action to invest in myself and to be the best that I can be? How are things in my life going to be different, better? Just these questions that you've got to ask yourself, because you've got to find that internal motivation. You can have coaches and friends and family help you out, but you've got to have that driving force within, and that all comes down to a decision.
Thank you, Kenny. So, once you've actually really dug deep and fought and decided to make a change, and you found the feeling, the thing that's going to propel you, to motivate you, to keep going when things get tough, you need to know what the journey is going to look like. So that's the second thing we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to lay out what the journey will look like and give you tactical ways, actual ways that you can use to overcome any obstacles that you may face. So, like a lot of people out there, I started dieting and started going to the gym, doing a ton of cardio. Who here has ever spent more time than they wanted to on the elliptical or running or doing something that they didn't want to do, right? So I'm not alone in this, and we see this with our clients. And for me, when I first started out, it was all about a number. I wanted to reach a certain number. I thought that if I lost X amount of pounds, that I would be happy, that I would look good, that I would feel good. And after years of struggling with this and not being happy with the results that I was getting, I had a feeling that something had to change, but that wasn't enough to get me to change. When I was in college, we were both going to Santa Clara University, my first year there. In the span of a year, two members of my family suffered heart attacks, very serious heart attacks. Several members of my family were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And in that very same year, my grandmother, who was extremely near and dear to me, thankfully she's still alive, but she was diagnosed with stage 4 thyroid lymphoma. And let me tell you, that scared me. I was terrified. For once in my life, health became more about my lifestyle rather than just, hitting a number or feeling good about what I see on the scale. It became more than that. So I started researching. I was a biology major at that point. I was talking to my professors about it, doing tons of research, talking to other experts. And what I found actually really excited me, because I discovered that there are habits, very simple habits, that have been proven time and again, that when you adopt those things, they not only make you feel good and look good, which is what a lot of people are searching for, but they make you healthy. And that's what really is important, because for me, when I realized how impactful my family's health was on my own life, I decided that I didn't want to do that to my loved ones. I wanted to take control of my health, not just for me, but for those people around me. I have a younger brother and a sister, and I wanted to be a good example for them. And so a lot of what we teach our clients is to make health, is that habit is where your health is at. You have to look for ways to develop healthy habits instead of just trying to find a quick fix. So that was really exciting, and we'll talk more about it later. But the second thing that you might face when you actually decide to go on your health and fitness journey, to take control of your life, is we all are going to face obstacles. And for people, it might be different for other people. For some people, naysayers might be the thing that really takes them off track. For others, it might just be some self-defeating thoughts that they've told themselves over the years. And for others, it just might be some certain triggers, certain foods that they think that they can't resist, but we teach our clients how to do that. So when a couple years ago after college, I was an educator at a private school, and almost every day at lunch I was harassed, literally harassed and made fun of for the type of meals that I would be bringing. So I'd be sitting there with a hearty salad, trying to be good, doing what I knew I had to do, and everybody would question me, oh, how come you're not eating the pizza? Because it was provided by the school. They would provide us with lunch, which usually wasn't very healthy, and I would get harassed. So what I found that works really well for both Kenny and I, and for a lot of our clients, is to be prepared. So I knew that that was a trigger for me, and I decided to make some scripts for myself, so every time a situation like that arose, I had the tools to, defeat them. So Ken and I are going to do a little role play, and we're going to just give you a little sample script that you might use or you can embellish on. So go ahead.
Oh, eating another salad. Is that you're on another diet?
Actually, Kenny, I'm not on a diet. This is just the way I eat now. My health is really important to me, and health-related issues such as diabetes and heart disease run in my family. So, I just want to do all the right things to keep myself healthy and to be there for my family.
Just slap one.
Well, you know, that's really inspiring. Diabetes actually runs in my family as well, but I just can't do that.
You know what? I know you can do it because I felt the same way when I first started, but I can help you, we can work together, and I can show you everything I know, and I know you can do it. So, so when you learn how to stand up for yourself, not only are you sticking to the path and you're really standing firm in what you believe, but you're inspiring others. This is your chance to pay it forward and to teach others about why you're doing the things you do. If you're sitting there at a GNA meeting like Kenny always does, or at church, and he pulls out a carrot, or he chomps on raw carrots all the time, while other people are, you know, snacking on candy bars, it gets them curious. And I cannot tell you how many people have come up to us and asked, oh, you drink a lot of water, oh, you do this, you do that. People see it, and it's not only a great thing to do for yourself, but it helps others too, and it really spreads awareness.
So, are you guys with us so far? Is it,
Yeah.
Are we good? Okay. It's not. This is a discussion as well. If questions come up along the way, feel free to ask. That's what we're here to do. We're here to open up that conversation. So now what we're going to dive into is a little more tactical stuff. So in terms of what we teach and what our philosophy is and our perspective. And again, we're giving our perspective based on thousands of hours of research, personal trial and error, working with clients from different backgrounds. And this is what we found again. When you study something, I'm sure you guys have all studied your expertise. When you study your expertise, you start to realize that there's certain principles, right? There's a difference between strategies and principles. Principles are things that it's life. You can't change it. It happens. You know, law of attraction. You know, what you put out, you get back, right? That's not a way of thinking, or it is life. That's the way it is. You can't change it. Like it or love it, it's going to happen. So what we're going to share with you is not fluff. It's not anything embellished. It's just what we've looked at. It's just simple principles. And when it comes to your fitness, there's two things you really need to know. There's only two things. When it comes to your fitness, there's only two things that you need to wrap your mind around. And that is one, you must be doing full body strength training. Full body strength training. All right? We're going to demonstrate that to you right now, but here's why that's so important. Full body strength training, all that means is you're going to do movements or exercises. I even hesitate to call them exercise because there's such a way of thought or surrounding that. Really, it's just moving and leveraging your body in a certain way. So there's certain movements that recruit multiple muscle groups. And the reason that's important is because the more muscles that you use, the more lean muscle mass you're going to create. And over the long term, to manage your weight and to sustain your results, you have to have lean muscle. Because lean muscle is what we call metabolically active. All that means is that the more lean muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn just being you, doing nothing else. Okay, calories. Muscle burns 10 times more calories than fat. Okay, make sense? Got it. Okay, so let's go ahead and give you a quick tool that you can use. So as a total body exercise, people tend to sometimes overthink it, but it can be something very simple. And start small, right? Start small, you'll build big. When we're sitting at our chair, and we're going to ask you all to do this as well, so we're going to have to push our chairs back a little bit, give yourself some room. And this is something you can do each and every day. So what I notice here in the Valley, I've worked with multi-million-dollar corporations, high-level CEOs, you name it. But what I notice is a lot of people are in this position a lot during their day. All right, what that causes: inwardly rotated shoulders, puts a lot of pressure on your upper back muscles, and when your chest is pulling you forward, it's also eventually going to put pressure on your low back because you're seated in this position. Your hamstring muscles go from kind of the back of your knees up to the top of your buns, and those are about 80% when you're seated. So you have short muscles on the back of your legs. Anybody? Well, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. But so here's what I notice happens, especially for ladies who wear some of the high heels or men on the weekends.
Eric. Eric.
Loosen up, guys. We're having fun.
Kenny knows some really good people.
Yeah. Maybe stop by Debbie Lynn's, right? Yeah. Okay. So when I notice when people go to stand up from their chairs, typically what happens is this: the chest comes forward, all their weight shifts up on their toes, and the first thing when they stand up, They drop their chest, and when you do that, it puts a lot of pressure on your knees because all your weight shifted forward. As soon as you come to go stand erect, straight up, you put a lot of pressure on your lower back muscles. Repetitive movement. Over time, you do that. Why do you think most of the injuries that we see in our society today, low back problems, hip problems, knee problems? It's too common, but it's completely preventable by the simple strategy that you are all going to learn right now. Is that good? Is that... My goodness. I gotta build it up. Okay, so when you go to stand up from your chair, so simple. Set up with your feet about as wide as your hips, right? You're gonna keep your chest up, nice and tall, stomach's tight. Okay, so this is an abdominal exercise as well. To firm up your midsection. Stomach's tight. When you go to stand up, I'll demonstrate, then you're gonna have a chance to give it a go. All right? So when you stand up from your chair, pretend like someone's pulling you up through your hair. If you don't have any hair like Elias, just maybe your puppet master. Okay, you're gonna push straight through your heels and stand up tall. The reason that's a benefit, by keeping your midsection firm, you're protecting your lower back. By pushing through your heels, you're balancing out the muscles that don't get a lot of attention throughout the day, hamstrings, glutes, and that's going to take pressure off of your knees. So we're going to get 3 times, three repetitions in here. So when I say 1, 2, 3, go, we're all going to stand up together. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Chest is up, stomach's tight. Squeeze the buns. Beautiful. Sit back down. Okay. Down. As you press up, exhale. Up, 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 up. Keep that chest up high. Stomach's nice and firm. Sit back down. Nice and easy. 1 more repetition. Standing straight up. Beautifully done. Excellent job. Give yourselves a hand. So simple. Does anybody feel a difference there? A little bit of difference. More, and just creating more mindfulness. A little bit more mindfulness. All right. And now, the second strategy that you need to know when it comes to your health and fitness. Like Sepideh says, a lot of people go to the gym and it kills me. You know, I love it that they're in there, they're trying to make a positive change, but it just comes down to a bit of education. Just a little bit of education. When it comes to cardiovascular fitness, and you need a balance of both, strength and cardiovascular, is you need to be sure that your cardiovascular is what we call short burst or high energy. It needs to be a little higher energy. And that can be tailored to your particular fitness level as well. Some people call it interval training, but the thing is you want to go about 30 seconds to a minute of, you know, on a level of 1 to 10, you want to go about an 8 or a 9, okay? And we're going to do something real simple in here today that's going to kind of help to demonstrate that, and but you don't even have to move around, okay? So we're going to stand right back up, yep, and make sure you practice with your nice, good, excellent, good, good. So you're going to set up with your feet about hip-width apart, bend in the knees, push those hips back slightly, okay? So again, butt should be back, knees over the heels as best you can, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna punch across rapidly. 3, 2, and go. We go 30 seconds. Punch it across. Punch it across. You can keep it nice and easy, or you can speed it up a little bit, okay? Yep. Punch it across. Keep your core nice and tight. Midsection's nice and firm. You're working those abdominal and those oblique.
This guy's not doing anything.
Don't breathe. Don't breathe. Henry, right? Hubert. Sorry, Hubert. Yeah, you gotta breathe a little for me, buddy. Perfect. Punch across. Yeah, you can punch a little more than that, can't you?
I'll lose my jacket. It's cold.
All right. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautifully done. Give yourself a round of applause. Beautiful. Beautiful. So those 2 strategies right there is really all you need to know, and it is all you need to know about getting amazing fitness results. You do those things consistently. You do those types of movements consistently. You will, and coupled with what Sepideh's about to share with you, you will get to where you need to be. All right.
So does that sound easy enough?
Yeah.
Fitness strategies? Yes? And believe me, the results are unbelievable. I mean, I didn't plan to share this, but I spent years just doing, you know, hour-long cardio sessions without seeing results. And when I met Kenny, he told me about this principle. Within a month, I was like a new person. So it really does work. And so when you do a lot of exercise, what you're doing is you're actually, you need to replenish your muscles, right? So you need to replenish it with really good things. So we've taken all this nutrition information that's out there, and we've narrowed it down to 4 simple principles. Does anybody want to guess? No, I'm just kidding. So the very first thing, and this is so overlooked in our society today, is water. It might seem really simple, but it is so important. It not only is amazing for your skin, it replenishes your muscles, which are mostly water. Your body has tons of water in it, so we need to keep replenishing it. And we just read a statistic the other day that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. So if you can't get yourself to drink the amount of water that you need to, you're not going to be able to get much further than that because your body just won't be able to handle it. So number 1, Drink a lot of water, more than you probably think you should. The second thing is you want to eat as much natural food as possible. I mean, it sounds pretty simple. You go to the supermarket, there's a bunch of food there, right? Not really, actually. Nowadays, it's a lot of food-like products. We have so many things that are in packages, so many things that have been modified, altered. I don't want to get into that. I get kind of passionate about that. So here's a simple tip. Even if you pick up a box, sometimes, for convenience sake, we get things in a can or a box or whatever, which is fine. Just make sure you read the back of the box. I'm not talking about the nutrition facts. You want to read the ingredients. So 2 things to watch out for. If the ingredients list looks more like a page from a book, you probably want to pass up on it. And second thing, just glance through the ingredients. Make sure it's things that you can pronounce, things that you understand. So if you're buying bread, for example, it shouldn't have like 20 ingredients. It should be a few simple ones: flour, water, etc. So that's the second thing. First was to drink water. Second, to eat all natural. The third thing, and this is so important, we can't stress it enough. Does anybody want to guess this one? Eric? It has to do with salads. So you want to get as much produce, fruits and vegetables as you can. Not only are the nutrients just so amazing for our bodies, the benefits they keep discovering every day, they just are amazing for our body, but the other benefit is that these foods offer a lot of volume. They fill up your stomach on very little calories. So instead of telling yourself, I'm not going to eat chocolate ever again. What do you guys all think about right now? Chocolate. Exactly.
You're lying.
So as soon as you tell yourself that something is off limits, you can't help but just think about that one thing. Oh, now I want chocolate. But if you focus on building a habit, I'm going to make a habit to eat 4 vegetables and 3 fruits a day, you're too busy focusing on what you're going to be eating, what you're going to enjoy, and you feel full. Nice, she got her chocolate right there. You're going to have to pass that around.
Big enough for the whole class.
So, can you pronounce the ingredients? So if you eat a lot of produce, you don't have to worry about, what can I not eat? What do I have to do? You're doing your body something amazing, and it makes dieting or constricting your calories a lot easier. So the fourth thing that I just kind of mentioned is being aware of how much we're eating. And I mean, there have been tons of books written about how our environment can actually change how much we eat. We eat when we're not even hungry. And so one simple thing, there's just one little tip that I'm going to give you today, there are many others, but I won't take the time, is if you eat on a smaller plate, it really, really helps. Because before you even know it, you're full, you probably won't even go back for seconds, and it's a simple way to consume less food without feeling deprived at all.
Cesar.
Recently, because I see food, I've always had, I see food, I eat it.
Right.
I've gained weight. I mean, it's almost an addiction. But lately, something that I'm trying to practice is I tell myself, can I afford it? And it's not a matter of financially, is can my body afford it? And just because something, sometimes people say, oh, you get this meal and it's a great deal. And, you get all this pasta or these hamburgers or whatever, but can your body afford it? And regardless of the money, and I ask myself,
That's a great question.
Can I afford it? Can my body afford it? But I have to make that a very conscious effort. It's not natural yet.
Yeah, and it will become natural.
Yeah, but that's wonderful. That's one of the other tips that I don't want to get into, but since you brought it up, eating. So that's a good job for doing that. It's wonderful.
So yeah, that first one there is the content, right? I forgot to mention this before, but our program is based on 3 core principles: content, coaching, content, community, and coaching. Right. So the content, these are the 3 reasons that people aren't able to stick to a program. They don't have a strategy. Sure, I want to lose 20 pounds. How do I do it? Right. That's the first thing. Strategy. You had the 2 principles of working out, the 4 of food. You got it. You practice building those habits, you can sleep easy at night. You'll sleep better at night. The second is community. And with Fit to Last, that's exactly what we're trying to create. We're in the process of creating a community of people, like-minded individuals. We come here to the GNA network because we want to be around other people who are trying to grow their business, pay it forward, be better at what you do. right? When it comes to your health and fitness, it's a jungle out there. You know, the system is set up in such a way that it makes it challenging. But when you're tackling a challenge, isn't it a lot better to share that experience with others? Right? I mean, something accomplished alone, that's great. But you want people that can participate in that with you. You can edify one another. You can empathize with one another. And a supportive community of individuals who are striving towards the same goal. There might be some folks that are a couple steps ahead of you, a few folks that are a couple steps behind, but you're all a community together supporting each other to move forward, make a difference. Because we need this. You don't need this. The Bay Area needs it, right? The U.S. needs it. It's an epidemic. It is an epidemic, unfortunately, but we can make a difference, and that's the fundamental belief, is that you have to make that decision that you can be a difference maker, and each one of us in this room today can make a difference, and that brings me to our third principle, the third C, which is coaching. And you know, as coaches, Sepideh and I, we don't look at ourselves as experts. Yeah, we eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. This is what we love to do. This is what we've dedicated our lives towards. We look at ourselves as an ally. Right? We're in this with you. We don't have it all figured out. We go through the same ups and downs and spirals that everyone else does. But you know what? We're people who care about the success of the people that we work with. And in my mind, that's what a good coach does. Is and it gets me, you know, because again, it's been a 15-year journey, folks. 15 years ago, I started at 10 years old. Some people don't start that. I've had to work on this stuff every day of my life for 15 years. And that's why I love to share with people. If I can truncate that down to 6 months, a year, do you think that'd be worth it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think that'd be worth it?
Yes.
Right? To save yourself that time. And that's really, as a coach, that's what we look to do. And you know, as we mentioned in the beginning, we just want to, you know, we're so grateful to have the opportunity to be here and have this conversation with everyone, that, you know, we want to invite folks out to check out what we do. We have what we call our fitness test drive, and that's something where we just sit down, have a talk, get to understand you, your goals, what you're looking to accomplish, and then you get to experience the style of workout and encouragement and training that we offer. And that invitation is extended to you, anybody else you think might be able to benefit from it, and you know, maybe just by seeing what we do, at the very least, you're able to speak to what we do and see if you're behind it, okay? And so we just want to extend that invitation to everyone. And outside of that, we'll go ahead and let Sepideh recap everything. I know we've gone through a lot, and I appreciate you all sticking with us. So we're going to go ahead and recap so that we highlight the main points.
Okay, sure. So, did you guys all have a good time tonight?
Yes.
Okay, we really hope that you got something out of this. I know it was a lot to cover. It was so hard for us to break it down because we're so passionate about it, but I hope it was clear and easy to understand. So, what the three things that we talked about, number one is mindset, right? And what is it about mindset that we need to do?
Decide.
Right, so you need to decide that you want to change, decide and find the feeling, realize why it's important to you, and move forward from there. The second thing, we kind of highlighted the challenges that you might face, you know, when you start your fitness journey. And so the first thing to keep in mind is that health is in your habits. Don't worry too much about the number on the scale or about all that stuff. Focus on building healthy habits that will get you there in the long run, because health is a lifelong journey, guys. It really is a long-term thing. And so the second thing we talked about with that was how to deal with obstacles. So a simple exercise, if you guys journal or if you have a little notebook, you can kind of brainstorm what things trigger you. Are they certain people? Is it certain foods? And find strategies to either avoid those situations in the beginning or, you know, find scripts like we have to deal with them. And the third...
One thing, I'm sorry, one thing about that as well is be patient with yourself.
Yes.
You know, be patient with yourself in this process. Again, took me 15 years. There's many times where I got discouraged, but you know, it's so worth it. It's just so worth it. And so just give yourself that gift of patience and appreciating the learning journey. Because you know, once you get to that 20-pound mark, it doesn't end there, like you said. It doesn't. It's life. You know, and that's why again that community aspect is important as well.
Yeah, so like Kenny just interrupted me and just kidding. So the three things that we really focus on with Fit to Last Bootcamps is content. So this content that we've worked so hard to kind of condense down for our clients. The second thing is building a very supportive community, because we know that we can't do it alone. If we didn't have each other, it probably would be a lot harder. And the third thing is the coaching. And as you can tell, we're really passionate about it, and we care about all of our clients as if they're our own. And one more thing, just really quickly, Kenny mentioned the test drive. If you guys sign up for that, we'll send that along. Another thing that we've done recently is we've partnered with Senor Cesar Plata and Every Circle, and what we've been doing is offering free events as a way to give back to the community and kind of create a buzz. And so if you RSVP online before the event, these events are free. We have one coming up on Saturday. It's a hike at 9 a.m.
What's that?
It's at Rancho San Antonio, and if you're interested, we can email you the links, or you can go to either everycircle.com or fittoLast.com for a full list of events, and we'd love to have you guys out there, and bring your friends if you think someone's interested in taking control. Yes?
Make sure you put that in the GNA booth page.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, really, that's all on our end. We want to give you an opportunity to, if there's any questions or anything, any success stories or anything that you guys might have piqued your interest, you want to get a little more information about, we can try and answer a few questions. We have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
And
So, I had a goal last year, which was to do a 5K.
oh, cool, great.
Except for I have really bad flat feet, and they not only flat, they turn out.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been dealing with a heel spur for a year, and I have, I can't get over it, and it really limits what you can do. Because think about all the footwork stuff. Now I walk twice a week.
Great.
I bike twice a week.
I love it.
Work out with my trainer twice a week.
Fantastic.
So I don't, the mental part of getting over the foot, because I walk for 45 minutes. Sometimes it really hurts, and I go really slow, and I have old ladies pass me, which is
Well, good for them. That's great. Got to walk it. That's good.
I know, you know what?
Here's the thing, and don't be so hard. You're doing the right things, right? And maybe another thing I would point you towards is, it's not only being active, but there's also other things in terms of, your food and your consumption. That's an easy thing that doesn't require any stress on the foot that can help you to move forward and make progress. And think about the options. There's swimming. There's the recumbent bike, which is going to place a lot less stress on your feet. There's just a wealth of options, and I appreciate you sharing. And again, if you want to sit down and have a conversation, we'd love to do that as well to support you with that. Anybody else? Come on, no other questions, no other.
Well, I did. Sorry, I was going to ask you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so are your solutions, are they like customized for each individual, or do you do like a group setting, or how does it work?
That's a wonderful
It's all
question.
structured.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. And so we really think of it as personal training in a supportive group environment, right? Every exercise that we can show you can be modified to your ability levels and to your needs. And honestly, that's why we sit down for a consultation with people, is to see if is this going to be a good fit for you and for where you're at and for what you need. But in general, obviously the types of movements are total body strength conditioning stuff. Because what you just did in that chair, that's a squat. That's a squatting motion. That's one of the fundamental exercises that we do. And so there's really just a lot of options. But yeah, everything we do can be customized. We sit down and also go over in terms of food stuff as well. Go over that. Something to
the
custom.
consultation is really what makes it so personal, and we keep our class sizes really small so that we can both come around and check form. So it's like you're getting that personal training experience in a group setting. And that's another reason why we kind of built in some hikes, because we've had some people that maybe weren't there yet, maybe couldn't do the exercises, but they can sure come out for a walk with us, learn some great stretches, things like that.
Do you guys have a facility, or?
No, completely mobile. Completely mobile. So we go into your gym is our gym, right? So which could be your gym. I mean, think about it. It could be your living room.
So if you don't have a gym, per se.
It could be a living room, backyard. We've done a lot of corporate. We've had corporate clients where we go to them. We have some equipment. We usually don't even need to use them. It's usually just about nutrition and body weight exercises. Actually, Mr. Plaza can attest to this. So he came
I
out.
was gonna say something.
Yeah, he came out on a walk with us. Hi.
So sorry.
Yeah,
Phil.
Last Saturday, there was about 10, 12 of us. We did a hike on the Stanford Dish. Now, I've done that hike, it's not a hike, it's more of a walk. I've done it many times before, but, every once in a while, we would stop and we would do some interesting exercises that were not difficult. They were very simple. And afterwards, it was one of those good sores, I was sore for 2 days. And I was like, okay, granted.
And we sent him a stretching video afterwards to help out with that, but I'm sure that's up to you. That's up to you, man.
No, but granted, I hadn't worked out in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before that, and so I am out of shape, but it was fun, and you'd be surprised what your body can do when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Surprise
It was
yourself.
fun, it was good.
Yeah.
I had a comment, you touched on water, and it's really critical because our body is 75% water.
Yeah.
And if you don't have good water in you, you're in trouble. So I really believe in having the right water, and it's not that. But anyway.
I'm getting enough of that.
But we are not only in a perpetual state of dehydration, but because we're not drinking water. And we're not drinking water because the water tastes bad. And the water tastes bad because there's that much garbage in it. And then they put more garbage in it to make the garbage in it disappear. So we got a problem here in the United States. But we are also in a perpetual state of malnutrition.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about the food, the non-food food, and every day they're coming out with more and more non-food foods just to get us to eat bulk and make us feel full. But our brains are starving,
Yeah.
and our children are coming up, and our grandchildren are coming up, and people are classifying them as retarded, and they're suffering from malnutrition. Your brain has to have nutrition.
And that's why we have to
And
come
we're not
together,
getting the
make it
nutrition in our
happen.
body because our food in this country doesn't have nutrition in it.
And the only way that's going to, it's supply and demand.
Right.
We can, for those of us who are now educated about this topic, the only way that's going to change is when we start to change our habits.
And when we change our habits and other people change their habits and they become, if you know better, you do better.
Right.
And we get the
Right.
message out, this country will start to stand up and compete against the world.
Let's work it. Let's work
Hey.
it.
Yeah.
My friend.
I apologize for coming
Oh,
late.
Last question, Eric, last question.
Last question, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I want to apologize for getting a little late, but I wanted to share with those who are 65 or over. There's something called silver sneakers for people if you're part of the United Healthcare Group. They have a silver sneaker program for you, which you can use at 24-hour fitness, which is great for me because I'm over 65, and they have a pool that I can take advantage of, and a spa and all that kind of good stuff. And if you do live in planned unit developments, complexes like condos and townhouses, you'll find out your homeowners association probably only runs your pool for 6 months out of the year. It's a money deal. Pools are very expensive to maintain, so if you want to do laps and so on, you can do it 6 months out of the year, because the rest of the time you're a fish out of water. So find a place where you can do something like that. Healthcare is not the only healthcare group that does it. There are other healthcare groups, if you are, and the intent is to encourage you to take exercise and take a lot of it. So,
I love it. Great. Thanks so much for your time.
I
Appreciate
didn't
it.
get to ask her a question.
Just right.
Okay,
You want to chat?
one more question, then we have to move on, because we need mastermind time.
I wanted to just ask about, because it sounds like the only definition of health you guys have talked about, to me, sounds like just weight loss. And because, I think that also you have to take into account blood pressure,
Sure.
glucose,
Oh,
all those
goodness
kinds
gracious,
of
yes.
things. So,
Well, I'm sorry if we gave that percent, because honestly,
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole system in and of itself actually formed out of a concern because of those things. Like I mentioned, those diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, all that stuff runs in my family, and that's really what got me to take a different look at it and kind of step away from only focusing on weight loss and try to build healthy habits. So yeah, we definitely, we encourage folks to, it's more holistic. It's not just about a number on a scale.
Well, I think
We'll
the
definitely talk
the takeaway is if you focus on those habits, those 2 fitness activities and those 4 nutrition things we talked about, all the other stuff, the weight loss will come. But most of the things you should really be excited about is just you're doing the right thing for you, and you're going to be a better person for people around you as well. that simple. All right, thanks guys.
Good job, thank you.
Give Kenny a big round of applause.
Yeah, we'll send this around. Feel free to, we'd love to see you guys.